All right, welcome back. You're watching Stop the Steal TV. We're on Biz TV. We're on Biz Talk Radio around the country. Of course, we're streaming live on Facebook and all social media. I have been talking all throughout this pandemic and the lockdown about there was a great chance for reset for many people. You know, America was founded on some simple principles, mostly Christianity. And the Puritans and the people who came to Plymouth Rock, they came here for freedom of religion. Okay? And Christianity was one of the four cornerstones of what this country was founded on: faith, family, freedom. And it even says on our money, "In God we trust." And it's the most trusted currency in the entire world. So when we start seeing these lockdowns, where we see casinos open and strip clubs open, but houses of worship are closed and limited in what they can do. We're being told that we can't sing or chant in church, which are common practices. You start thinking, what in the Lord's name is going on out there? And someone who's a lot closer to the Lord than me joins us right now. Bishop Aubrey Shines joins us. He's a nationally recognized conservative pastor. He's based down in Tampa, Florida. Bishop, thank you so much for joining us. It is, I'm not as godly a man as you. I know I'm a sinner, and I'm always asking the Lord for his forgiveness. But it starts to get really scary when the things that our country were founded on, faith, freedom, family, are being attacked by these progressives. And now they're saying not only can we not go to church, but the 10 people that are allowed in, they can't even sing our traditional songs. How scary is this getting, Bishop?
Well, it's very scary. First of all, thanks for having me on. And we've been doing this work actually for a long period of time. In all fairness to your audience, I traveled for then candidate Trump in places all around the country. As a matter of fact, when Hillary Clinton wrote her book on what happened and why she lost, I was the guy that she put in there by name. So I was the clergy that she did. So when I see these progressive ideologies being lived out, it's intentional. It's to stop the Judeo-Christian ethos in which this nation was formed. There's no question about it. And those who don't understand it, they really just don't understand basic history. Because if you did, you'd understand it was the church. It was clergymen like myself, black robe regiment guys that stood out. We made a difference. We preached in our pulpits on Sunday, and then we took our guns and we fought battles to make sure that this nation would be a nation that people could worship as they choose. There is a direct effort by these progressive governors to make sure that marijuana dispensaries open, places to buy alcohol open, casinos open, but not a church. You can go to Walmart, but you can't go to a church. That's wrong. Our leaders are fighting against this. And this is why, my friend, we do the work that we do, because there is an attempt to silence the voice, as we've even seen in this election, is to silence the voice of Christians in this nation. We would rather die fighting than to let that happen.
I happen to agree with you, and you know, I like to say that what we're doing here is the people's pulpit, because if we don't remember what our country was founded on, and those are Judeo-Christian values, then we're in a lot bigger trouble than a few weeks of a lockdown. Now let's go to Georgia. We have this Raphael Warnock there. He's known to be a close associate of, you know, this guy. I don't even like to mention his name, but this pastor who was Barack Obama's minister, and he said the chickens are coming home to roost, and he's really a great America hater. What do you know about Raphael Warnock, and what do people need to know about this guy?
Well, first of all, they need to know that not only is he a comrade with Dr. Jeremiah Wright, people really don't get this, my friend. They adhere to what's called Black liberation theology. And if you want to start the argument anywhere, you got to understand what that is. This is a group of thinking. I'm trained in this. This is a group of thinkers that believe, one, if you're white, you are the problem. If you're Jewish, you are definitely occupiers. And so their premise is that anything that is white is bad, is horrible, and we must rid ourselves of this thing called whiteness in America. Warnock hates this nation. He will use white people to get where he's trying to get to, But make no mistake about it, he hates the nation. He hates our military. By the way, it's the same military that he hates that fought against the ideological bent that he's part of called the Democratic Party. It was hundreds of thousands of not just white men, but 40 plus thousand black men that liberated southern states that he wants to represent. He's opposed to this type of military, but it was the military that fought against the Democratic Party that was trying to stamp out black people's ability to have the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment. The same group, by the way, that he's still a part of that opposed anything that was liberating and free. Is the same party that gave you the KKK, it gave you Jim Crow laws, and it's still doing the same thing, trying to divide us against each other as American. Forget about black and white. They're trying to destroy American with this Marxist ideology. That, my friend, is who Warnock is. And if we don't join together, black and white alike, in Georgia and defeat this Marxist ideology, we will lose our nation.
Bishop, thank you for that. And you're right on the money, my friend. What many people want to look past, like the major sports leagues in this country and some of these big companies like Netflix and Amazon, they're all pandering to Black Lives Matter.
I can't hear him.
They're all pandering to Black Lives Matter. Bishop Warnock, do you hear me? He doesn't hear me. Bishop Warnock, do you hear me? Do we have the bishop?
Yeah, he's good.
Okay, we're gonna reconnect with we're gonna reconnect with Bishop Aubrey Shines in just a moment. We lost his connection. We'll take a minute here. We'll get him back on. We got a news of the day right after this.
Unfortunately, gentlemen, you guys are having some audio technical difficulty there.
Okay, he's not hearing me. So for whatever reason, we'll look into it. We got an open segment after this, so we'll try to get the bishop back on. Okay, so Bishop Aubrey Shines recently published a book, 8 Questions About Race, which is his response as a black pastor to the BLM movement. Now, I've said many times on this show that if you say to me, JT, the sentence, Black Lives Matter, I say to you, hell yeah. You better believe Black Lives Matter, and every single one of them matters, just like white lives matter, brown lives matter, yellow lives matter, all lives matter, okay? Blue lives matter, all right? But when you put it in all caps and you put a hashtag in front of it, hashtag Black Lives Matter, then that no longer is a statement that all humans should be treated equally. That is a movement that is backed by 3 founders who are self-avowed Marxists. They say we are trained Marxists. Our mission, our manifesto, comes from the man himself, Karl Marx, where we want to remove individual identity. We want to take away people's religion. We want to take away their freedom. We want to take away people's individual rights. We want to break down the nuclear family. This is what one of the things our country was founded on, the nuclear family, and everyone has been, since it's an age-old adage. It all starts at home. And we know that in many of the African-American communities, we've had outcries for years that there are a lot of single-parent homes. And these moms in the inner cities that are raising kids on their own, they want their schools open. They want their cops. They don't want any more breakdown of their nuclear family. They want protection. They want safety. They want education. They want health care. And it seems like the major corporations in America, along with the left wing of our politics here, the progressives, have hijacked this movement to basically drill down and turn us into an otherwise socialist society, where they tell us when to go out, where they tell us when to stay in, when they tell us how many people can sit at a table, when they tell us what time we have to be back in our house like little sheep. That's not what America was founded on. And that's not what the great men and women of our U.S. military fighting forces have gone all across the world protecting the freedoms and liberties we were born into. And by the way, these days, almost 50% of our military are minorities. So when you got a guy like Raphael Warnock down there in Georgia, who's an avowed follower of Jeremiah Wright, who's a U.S. American hater, and he says that if you're in the military, you're not doing God's work, you got to start thinking, is he even talking about his own people? who make up half of our fighting forces out there, that going out there and putting their life on the line so that we can have liberty and free and fair elections? Is this guy saying that those people are going against the faith that they believe in and the simple faith that our country was founded on? It's getting scarier by the minute. If we can get it, Bishop Aubrey Shines back, we'll have him back right after this. We'll take a quick break. Do not move. More Stop the Steal right after this.